what it is? I don't know why I bring myself to read these types of stories. And I know it's October, and it's all about the weird shit and everything, but I don't know why I've gone to this extent of let's read some really disturbed things. Hello, book nerds. Welcome back to In Between the Lines. If you're new here, hello, my name is Noah, and we talk about books. Today, we're going to be talking about Woom by Duncan Ralston, I think is how you say it. I may say it wrong. It's 132 pages, and it was published in 2016. This falls under the, I guess you could say, extreme horror slash splatterpunk. What can I tell you about this? It was a read. The premise was good, and I'm just gonna let you see my reactions to certain parts of the book, and then go into it in more detail afterwards. So here you go. Let's just dive straight into it. So the story starts off with a gentleman named Angel, bald head, but he wears like proper expensive clothes, and he's gone to a motel. The motel is known as the Lonely Motel. Missing. He's in room 6, and he's basically talking about how he's been in this room before. He's had a lot of pain in this room, and he wants to end that pain. And he throws him in the toilet just because. And he brings up I don't know what you call them, ball girl, whatever he says. Basically, he wants a girl, and he wants a large woman. He says attractiveness unimportant, but the larger the better. And this woman named Shyla will be coming around, and that's basically the start of the book. I don't know what to expect from that, to be honest. So we'll see where that goes. Escort, that's what she is. She's an escort. My bad. So Shyla's basically, she's decided to smoke a menthol sort of cigarette in the motel room. She's like, "Is that your real name, Angel?" And he's like, "Is Shyla yours?" And she's like, "Touche." Kind of curious though, because he's eyeing Shyla now, and he's examining her body as a medical doctor would look at something, or how a butcher would look at a slab of meat. Is not like with arousal. He literally views her as a vessel, a thing to be. It literally says she was merely a vessel, a thing to be filled and then discarded. So I'm just like, huh, okay. This will be a little bit interesting, I'm thinking. So he's basically asked Shyla to sit on the bed while she's having a smoke, and he wants to ask her questions. She's trying to be like all filthy and be like, "I'm not." She basically, because he said he wanted to ask her some questions. She was like, "Well, are you a writer?" And he's like, "No, I'm not a writer, but I do have some of the stories to tell, but those will come later." Her response is, "I hope they aren't the only things that come." She winked, and Angel's like not impressed. So he starts asking her questions that she said she would answer. And it's all about if she's a mother, if she wants children. She's thought about children, and why hasn't she? And she's like, "Well, why haven't you?" And she's getting annoyed now. This is a really weird intro to the book. I'm very confused. And then he asks her out of the blue, like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And she, like, because she's a large lady, then described as like her chin wobbled with laughter. "You really are funny, you know that?" And he's like, "I'm serious, do you?" So I'm interested where this is gonna go, because this is a splatterpunk book. So I'm a little bit confused. Okay, so she thought it was like a prank, and she was about to get up and leave. She was angry. She's like, "You've wasted my time, money, all that jazz that she could be making." And he's like, "No, this isn't like a hidden camera prank. My mother died in this room." And then she kind of like eased back a bit. She feels kind of sorry for him, and he asks for a cigarette. And she's her hard look is softened, and she's like, "Of course you can, sweetie." So now she's like, "I have no idea what's going on." I'm trying to understand, but so far I don't. Okay, so I actually really like what he says here. Well, they're talking about, like, if they believe in ghosts. He asks her, do you think places absorb bad things? And she's like, well, what do you mean bad things? And he's like, betrayal, anger, death. When you first walked in here, how did it make you feel? And she kind of describes how she felt, which is really nice. And they kind of have a little bit more of a talk. But it's this what he says to her that I actually really find interesting. Back to my original point, he said, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do think places like this motel room, I think they hold on to bad things the way people hold on to memories, grief, pain, disease, addiction. I think when you enter a place that's absorbed enough bad things, it pukes them out at you. It drenches you in them. So a relatively innocuous room like this one will appear evil because bad things happened here. And to be honest, I can actually believe that a little bit with like places and things. But yeah, I can believe that to an extent. I think even with energy, because we give off energy, I think that rooms and places can soak that up. So yeah. So basically, he's telling her that this room has seen some crazy shit. And she's like what? Give me an example. If we're not gonna fuck, you know, talk to me then. Tell me what this crazy shit is. And he's like, I'll tell you one, but I have to warn you, it's pretty grim. She's like, worse than a grown man shitting diapers and calling me mummy. And he's like, I think so. But people are into that and that freaks me out. I mean, everyone has their own things that they're into, but that's a whole nother level. Do you know what it is? I remember on back in the day, this was in high school. This was good. This was probably like 2005. I'm thinking on Good Morning in the UK. There was a guy on there, and they were talking about Kinks because they did that early morning because that's all they would show on TV because we're weirdos. And this guy is like, he can't orgasm. He can't come until he's in an... I don't know how... You know what it is? I want to know what the process is until they got to this. But he couldn't come until he was in a diaper and he's being berated by someone while he was pushing a hard-boiled egg across the floor with his nose. And it's just like, how did you get to the hard-boiled egg being pushed across the floor with your nose? What happened to get to that point where you're like, that'll do it? I don't understand it. It goes over my head. Anyway, I'm going to go read this book now. And then he goes into a story about someone named Johnny. And that's a whole new chapter. It's kind of gross. So the story basically that he's telling Shyla is there's a guy named Johnny who fell in love with a girl named Jenny. And he's always said yes to Jenny no matter what. And Jenny got into heroin. And he said yes. And it's been a cycle. And he doesn't like it. So he stopped doing it. But he would tell her off for it. Kind of trying to break out of it. But he'd always end up caving in. Because it's Jenny. And she is the love of his life. And he comes home to basically this guy sat next to Jenny on the bed. And he's kind of like, yo, you cheating on me. You're fucking. And she's like, no. This is Juicy. Now Juicy's like, your girl here owes us 6k. You're going to have to basically be a mule for us. So he's basically swallowed quite a few bags of heroin to go to Canada and travel on a plane for several hours. But he couldn't do it. So as soon as he swallowed them, he couldn't do it. He bolted up from the toilet, doubled over in pain, and raised the lid, jerking down his G's just in time to slap his bare ass cheeks on the seat. Before Jenny could finish saying, God damn it, Johnny, don't you fucking do it, the baggies oozed out of him in a torrent of vile, smelly black shit, popping out of him like a wet string of anal beads, like a 50 caliber ammunition complete with explosions. That... I don't know what to say about that. Don't ever do drugs, kids. So he cuts away to Shyla being like, oh, come on, Angel, that's disgusting. He's like, too much. He's like, it's a little over the top. And having this, it's as friends would have like this weird banter about poop. And he's like, think of it like chocolate ice cream. And she's like, no, don't ruin ice cream for me too. And he's like, do you want me to stop? She's kind of like, well, I kind of know what happened. So he's like, okay then, back to the pool. It's gross. Basically, told Jenny they were going to be luggages. So Jenny had to put the stuff up inside of her. One of the bags broke and she started to overdose. And while he's trying to, he doesn't know what to do. He's never read up how to help someone who's having an overdose with heroin. So he starts pulling the baggies out of her her flu. And as he pulls something out, he realizes he's pulling something fleshy out. The main thing to know is that it's not Juice's, and it's definitely not his, and it belongs to someone else. And Jenny's gone. And her unborn is shriveled on the carpet. Oh. It started off really funny, kind of with the banter and stuff, and then it just... Things to do with drugs and heroin, just it's so uncomfortable, and I hate that. And I hate that the chapters are named after what stories he's telling. Like that one was called Cramps, the next one's called Prolapse. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable. Oh. Just so you all know, Juicy from the other chapter, there's a reason why he's called Juicy. And Juicy's telling this to a girl. Because he knows to make them bitches squirt. Oh. Why? Why is it always porn? Well, we know why this one's called Prolapse, and I'm gonna move on from that. You know what the worst thing is while he's telling her these really fucked up stories of where people kind of get their comeuppance, Angel's fisting Shyla. It's not attractive. I mean, the book isn't attractive at full stop, but I don't understand how someone can do something like that and then tell fucked up stories at the same time. So this chapter's called Woom, and it's obviously a pregnant woman. So this is where the book comes in. I'm guessing this is where it kicks in. So this is why the book is named Woom. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, so okay. Let me just give a little bit of an explanation here. So it's now talking about this woman named Mary Booker, who's rented room 6, which is what this whole thing's about. It's this room 6 in the motel. Basically, she's here for an hour or so because her husband has decided to leave her because she decided to keep the baby. And the reason why he didn't want her to keep the baby is because, unfortunately, great. And the story stops instantly because Shyla cuts in. She's like, wait. You didn't say this was going to be a rape story. And Angel's like, no, it's not rape. Rape is the backstory. There's no rape in this. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, is that a trigger for you, Shyla? He says, don't. And he says, don't what? Let me just read this. Don't get all smug about trigger warnings. I know they're bullshit, but can't a woman just not want to hear about rape without it being a goddamn thing? I don't think a lot of people would agree that trigger warnings are bullshit, because I don't think they are. I think it's good to have trigger warnings for certain people. Well, not certain people, just trigger warnings are good in general. You know, because then you know what you're getting into, you know what you're going in for, and you can do a little bit more research into it. And then it just goes on to every time you turn on the TV, there's another woman getting raped and murdered. Every time you flick past the news, it's rape culture on campus and celebrity sex assaults and some new moral fucking panic. Enough already. That's really different. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's, well, more than a bit harsh. I don't even know how to respond to that. And I guess that's pretty much, I think that's what the author's own personal opinion has come into the book. And that's a little bit uncomfortable when people do that with their own work and writing. And all this is while they're fucking, I don't even know what to say. Oh, let's just breeze past this. Fast forward, I guess, I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. This is, I don't know where this, okay, so it kind of talks about how she is a good Christian woman. And there was a little comment, and I didn't make the connection. She's asking the guy if there's clothes hangers in the room. And he's like, yeah, of course. She's like, no, but are they wire hangers? She writes a letter to the baby to help with like you know, signed it. She wrote all the fears of things for as the child grows up, and then she signed it with Love Mum. She goes to have a bath, and she bends a coat hanger. You know where I'm going with this. And the reason why she's doing this is because she's sparing him from a life of pain. She's not hurting him, she's saving him. Because the world is a messed up place. I can't talk about this. This is... I don't. It's pretty graphic at what she's doing with this hanger. And all the time he's telling her this, he's doing things to this, sexual things to this woman, Shyla. And I don't understand. I don't understand why you can write something like this and then write that while having sex. It's messed up. Oh, this is something that Ben has. So it's not a list that he has. He's kind of, as he's talking, he's trying to say room, but he says womb instead. And she's like, do you have a lisp, Angel? And he's like, no. It's not lisp, but lisp is when you pronounce S like TH. She goes, okay, then what's it called then? He goes, speech therapists call it. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna also put the thing here for you. Right here. Oh, speech therapists call it roticism or dehoticization. Oh my god, why is he giving me these words? It took him a long time to master saying his R's. I don't even... I'm just so baffled by everything that's happened in this book. So now Shyla is telling Angel a story, and this chapter is called Smother. But the S is in brackets, so it's mother. They're just telling each other these weird stories and these experiences. While she doesn't know the experience of what's been in this room, he's telling things that has happened in this room. And hers are just like random things she knows and stories about certain clients that she's had. And this guy likes a certain box being sat on, his face sat on, where he made a box and he's known as the Smother Man. It's like some weird messed up BDSM in this. Just, I don't... you know what it is? I don't know why I bring myself to read these types of stories. And I know it's October, and it's all about the weird shit and everything, but I don't know why I've gone to this extent of let's read some really disturbed things. I figured out why the chapter's called Smother, but the S is in brackets for mother. The next chapter is called Mannequin. But man is the only part of the word that's not in brackets. And I don't like mannequins in general because I think they're very creepy and scary. I just don't like them. So I'm unsure where this one's gonna go. And this book just ruined an Alanis Morissette song that I really like. I want you to know. Oh! I mean, I should have that's not even English. I should have known this already from everything that's happened and how he would know. He hinted at it. But now they're having a bit of a tiff. Shyla and Angel, because Angel accidentally revealed that he was Johnny. And now we know why he took the other name Angel as like a nickname. And why it's called Mannequin. Oh! Oh! Well, you know, like mannequins. You know, like mannequins are just kind of like, they just have like smooth mounds. Well, that pretty much nearly happened to Johnny / Angel. In detail. So he basically decided to show Shyla what Bethany, the woman who did this to him, like what she did, and he basically just reveals himself to her when she's telling him not to, and it literally just says, it talks about this huge scar from his navel to his inner thighs. In the middle of it was a small nub of flesh about the size of a thumb knuckle with a slit down the middle so he could urinate. Sir, we need to talk about this book. Who hurt you? Oh no, his R thing that he works really hard to say ours, he's just lost it in after revealing there. He's like, have you ever thought your life would be better off if you could start over again, like a reset button? You could uncover your eyes now. He zipped up his fly. See, I've tried religion, I've tried meditation, I've tried therapy and rebirthing. I've even tried love, but none of these took away my pain. I've always been there since I was born. My mother was my father, he said, a rapist. I've never been able to undo what Beth did to me, but I can start over. I know I can. I've started to practice holding my breath again. Why did you call me here? Shyla said. Oh no! I've made the connection why he's stretching her out. He wants to be rebirthed. Oh no. Oh, that's why he has for a really large woman. No. Ah. Oh. Oh, he deserves this. He's stuck inside an unconscious prostitute's vagina. He's breached. He's breached. Oh my god. I don't know what to say about what just happened. She woke up with him stuck and she managed to get him out and made him stop breathing again. And now she's like mothering him. And that's basically it. It kind of goes off into like a different kind of story a little bit after that. But it was an experience. Let's just get into the review. So that was Woom, and we're just going to go straight into it. So characters-wise, we have Shyla and Angel. In a way. I'm just going to call him Angel. It's just, I don't even know what to say. The main characters is Shyla and Angel. And then we've got Johnny and Jenny, Mary and Juicy, and I think there's another guy called Duncan or something like that in there. I could be absolutely wrong. None of it's really important. Well, I guess the story of the characters, I guess you could say it is, because he's telling this story for a reason to Shyla while he does things to her sexually. The only characters that I really felt sorry for was, or even had some sort of connection with, was Johnny and Jenny. Just because of what happens to them. I've had a friend who got into stuff like that, so it was kind of like an O moment. But what can I tell you about the characters? Shyla's the large girl. She's an escort. She's always wanted to be a mother, but she can't actually do that, unfortunately, because she had something done to her. Danger zone. Her no fun house. I don't know what you want to call it. Angel. I feel bad for him because he's had a bad life. He was dealt a really rough hand. And then he just gets weird and demented, and they don't lose any sort of thing for him. It's just messed up. It's just messed up. It's just messed up. But that's all I can tell you about characters. It's obviously with Splatterpunk, it's more about the gore and everything else than the actual characters, I guess you could say. Story/plot: Johnny calls for an escort girl to come and into his room at motel, room number 6, where a lot of things have happened into that room, and he decides to start telling her a story while doing sexual stuff. And each story has, I guess you could say, like a bit of karma, a bit of an outcome to it, though it's never the good kind. And as he's going through all these stories, he's doing things to her, things kind of start to unravel as to who Angel is as a character and what's going to happen to Shyla. And without ruins, anything, that's all I can tell you. Plot-wise, obviously it's a short book, it's 131 pages, or 132 pages, sorry, and it goes fast, it moves, and, you know, the chapters are very short because they're all about the story of different people, I guess you could say, but that's really it. World building? No, there's no world building in this at all. It's just all about Angel, Shyla, and whatever happens in this room. That's really it. Re-readability? I won't read this again because personally this book is not for me. So take that as you will. Fun factor? Not really. I didn't enjoy this book. I didn't enjoy it. I'm just gonna go straight into my rating. So rating wise, I'm giving this 2 stars. Why am I giving it 2 stars? Let's see. In this book, this is my own personal opinion. There's certain bits where I believe this is the author giving his own opinion on certain things. And they're not good things. So, for example, there's a moment in the book where they're talking about, unfortunately, rape. And a character specifically states, "Don't get all smug about trigger warnings. I know they're bullshit." And a little bit further down, while she's kind of going through this diarrhea of why, she basically says, every time you flick past the news, it's rape culture. That's what it specifically says, rape culture on campus, and celebrity sex assaults, and some new moral fucking panic. Enough already. And that's just one example. And then when I read that, I went back, because I had it on the Kindle. Thank God it was on Kindle Unlimited, because I could just delete it and get rid of it. There's no trigger warnings at all. At all. And there should be, because there's numerous things that happen in this book. There's rape, there's sexual assault, there's overdosing, there's self-abortion, things to do with a fetus. It just goes on. There's a lot that happens in a short time, and I feel like very much like it's all kind of like the authors put their own opinion in it. Now, don't get me wrong, the premise of the story is good, but it's so messed up and weird, and that's all I can give it. It's just 2 stars, because the premise is good, and I kind of felt a little bit something for Johnny and Jenny, because I've had a friend go through that. I've had friends, multiple, unfortunately. But that's all I can give it. It's 2 stars. It's just messed up, and I just feel like a lot of the book is this author's own opinion. I didn't enjoy it. I hated it. But I'm just going to leave it at that. If you've read anything else by this author or you have your own opinion, definitely let me know. I'd love to know what you think about the book and the writing and everything else. And if there's anything else that you've read by them that you think would be a good sort of read to kind of step away from this. And that's where I'm just going to leave it. It's been an experience reading this. I don't even know what to say. I think this is pretty close to It's Me, Charlie. It's just messed up. It's just weird. Things happen in it, and I'm not proud that I read it, and I'm going to leave it at that. Please make good choices and decisions when you're picking a book to read. Don't do me. Be good, make good life choices, and I'll catch you later.
Of all the boys I've known, and I've known some, until I first met you I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and this whole world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you